All right. Okay. So since this is our first episode, I feel like we should like introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay. You go ahead.
Okay. So I'm Hailey. Um and I play softball with Emma, and that's why we're here right now because
Why not?
we always wanted to make a softball podcast, and we were like, you know what, might as well just make a regular podcast
Yeah.
with the two of us.
If it's
So
just two of us and it's not softball related, I mean, we can talk about anything.
yeah.
Like anything.
So we were like, might as well record this and entertain people.
Because like it's basically just like casual conversation.
No, it literally is. Like I feel like anytime we try to have a casual conversation, it tails off into like 12
so
other
many
fucking things. So,
yeah. Like
you know.
be prepared, honestly.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, and so I'm Emma. I play on the softball team with Hailey. And wait, okay, we go to UMPI, University of Maine Presque Isle.
Yeah.
She's from New York. I'm actually from Maine.
Which is really weird to think about. We were just talking about this the other day.
Yes.
How strange it is to like come to one place and just meet people from like all
everywhere
over the place.
Like we got even just for softball, we have teammates from Utah, Florida, New York. We got Mass, Minnesota. Like, and I'm missing some, I'm sure. Like there, and even like
Canada.
Oh my God, we got a whole other country.
Yeah,
like
literally. But
we love our Canadians.
It's just so weird to think about, like, and like coming here and like meeting people, like, you know, like when you like go into a new class and like they're like, okay, everyone introduce themselves, and then everyone's just like, oh fuck.
Yes.
You know, it's the worst part.
Like, what am I supposed to say?
Exactly.
Like, yeah.
But then, like, sometimes I'll sit there and I'll listen to people, and I'm like, they're literally from all over the place. Like,
yeah.
I know it's like half Maine, pretty much, because like
it's where we are. Yeah,
it's just where we are. But it's just so strange. Like, we have people from like my friend group is like Florida, California. There's Texas. There's the city, which is so weird because it's like they're super close to me,
right?
And we're 12 hours away, and they happen to be here too
as well. Like,
you know, that's so weird.
Yes.
And there's two other girls that are from Long Island.
Yep.
And one of them even it's so weird. One of them even went to school with a girl that I played softball with for like 5 years.
That's how crazy.
And we're like friends with her and stuff. And I was like, that's crazy.
Speaking of like that, I had my first class for my business class today. And it's funny that you say how they say introduce yourself. We did a specific icebreaker because it's about communication and leadership. That's my class. Right. It's 496 or something. It's something like that. And it's like a in-depth leadership, a communication style class. And so she's like, let's kick it off by you guys talking to each other. And I'm like, okay, like this is fine. So she had a list of 6 different questions. And one of them was like, when's the last time you were proud of yourself? What's like a way you could work on your communications? Because all kinds of different questions. And she used the Google spin a wheel. And like whatever color it landed on is a question.
Is it with Kim?
Yes.
Oh my God, yes, she did the same thing for my class.
And unfortunately, I got what was the last time that you were proud of yourself? And I'm like, oh my God, I don't even know how to answer this in front of all these random people. So I said, when I got my car out of the snow this morning. That was like my answer. Because there was like this much snow, dude. Like I couldn't even like
when I had to go to Walmart, like literally just a few hours ago, I had to go to Walmart. I haven't moved my car in 4 days.
Right.
And it just snowed so much. So I was literally out there and I had like, first of all, like 8 inches on my car alone.
Right.
And a foot and a half.
It was buried.
Right in
it was
front.
buried.
So and I don't have a shovel. So I took my like ice
scraper?
Yeah, my ice scraper. And I took everything off my car and I was walking around in this was the one time I didn't wear my boots.
Right.
So I was walking around in my fucking Air Forces in a foot and a half of snow.
Right. As you would be.
And then I cleaned my car off and we had to wait for the window to defrost. And I was like, fuck, I have to get over this foot and a half lip.
Right.
So I took the ice thing and just started golfing the snow. To make two little holes like for my wheels to go through.
One of those grass cutter things.
That's what I was doing. I was just going back and forth till I hit ground.
I use my foot and I walk around and I kick it.
I couldn't even do that. I didn't even have my boots on. So I couldn't do that.
Right.
Or else I would have. But yeah. I had to fucking do that this morning.
There's this guy who lives in my apartment complex with me, and he lives down on the end, and I had to get up at like 6 o'clock to go to work this morning.
Yeah.
And he was out there cleaning off his truck at the same time. And I start cleaning off my car and he's about to go back inside and sweep it. He looks over, he goes, I can't just let you clean off your car by yourself. And he came over and he helped me clean my car off. And he was like, it's too early in the morning for you to be doing this alone. I was like, it's the sweetest thing ever. I was like, that was He's awesome. I love him.
Yeah, me and Bree were talking earlier today about like helping people, and like she was saying like she was in the airport and like she had to like there's this old man with like a cane and he the Presque Isle airport, like there's no runway to get
Right.
off the plane. You have to go down the steps.
Right.
These icy slippery steps, and they were trying to make this 80-year-old man with a cane
Aw.
go down the steps with his luggage, and it's like,
Not gonna
you
happen.
know.
Okay, so speaking of like, what's like one thing like that maybe like that you've like done for a random stranger or somebody that like first comes to mind? Like, I mean, like, I feel like at least I would hope that like a lot of people, like I know you would, and like hold the door open for people, but like,
Oh,
is
absolutely.
there like anything that like you've ever done like that? Like just randomly just decided I need to like help this person out.
um I feel like, okay, this could just be like me, like personally, but like I feel like when I do good things, I kind of do it more as like an instinct. Like I don't think about
Mm-hmm.
it too much because like sometimes I get anxiety. And if I think about doing something too much, then I end up not doing it and then I'll
Yeah.
feel bad that I didn't do it.
You second guess what they're gonna
So
think, all that
yeah.
kind of stuff.
So like
Yeah.
sometimes like most of the time when I do good things for other people, if you want to like call it that, it's like something that like I don't have to think that much about. Like for example, holding the door open, like that's just second nature.
Right.
That's just second nature for me to hold the door open for people. But there have definitely been times where I went out of my way more, I guess, like intensely to help someone, like if I saw something was going on or like you know what I mean? But I feel like if I like those people that will like make it like a point to like, oh, I did this, so I should
Right.
get this.
Right.
I feel like that's just wrong.
Right. Like
So
to announce it and expect like something in return.
yeah.
Or like, yeah, I agree.
So like I feel like I prefer to like just like I don't know, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it out of first instinct. I'm not gonna like do it because I'm like, oh, if I do this good
People will
thing,
think this.
then I'll
Right.
look good and this and
Right.
that. Like I
I
feel
think
like
that's how it should be.
honestly, it's like
Yeah.
if you put good out, you get good back. And
Yeah.
it's like, like
It's like karma. It doesn't
yeah.
need to be known. It's like it's gonna happen. You put it
Yeah,
out in
like
the world's gonna give it back to
you
you.
shouldn't be doing things for like intention other
Yeah.
than good intent. Like I don't know how to
Exactly.
explain it, but like you shouldn't be like doing something like good for expectation of something like
Right.
coming to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? So like doing just things in general with like good intentions and not expecting something and like to be rewarded to you in return, like that's what I feel like is considered like
Exactly.
helping someone.
I
Is
agree.
when you're doing it not for the expectation of like, oh, hopefully they give
Yeah.
me an extra tip or
If you do
hopefully
it
they do it
if you
like
do it for what people are gonna give back to you, then you're not doing it for that person. You're doing
you're
it for
doing it for
yourself.
yourself. So it's like I feel like to consider something like that, it's like something that I've done where like I don't think about it, I just do it without expecting something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there have definitely been many times where I've done it, but I just can't recall like a specific time where I went out of my way because I feel like it's just something that like it kind of makes my day almost.
You
You
know,
know what
like
I mean?
you do it with the thought of like, I want to make this person's day, but
Yeah.
then it ends up kind of making your own feeling like
Yeah.
happy that you could help somebody.
Yeah, like there have been times where I've paid for people in front of me
Yeah.
or like, like I don't know, just like stupid things. Like I got like one time I got like no tip money one day
Hmm.
at work, like maybe like $3, and I gave it to someone else as like a tip
Yeah.
that day. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like just like I don't know, just things like that.
It
Like
doesn't even need to be anything crazy big either. Just like little things that go a long way.
yeah. So like things like that, like I don't know, I can't like recall specifically, but there are definitely like plenty of times where I think I've gone out of my way to do stuff like that. It's just I don't like to think of it as like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm doing this because it makes me feel good. Like
Right, like it's
that.
not like you knew at some point in life we would be doing this podcast where you could tell the whole world about what you did.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not looking here for like I don't want a cookie. I don't want a round of applause. I don't really care. Like
Cookie would be nice.
but it's like I don't know.
Yeah. There was this
You
one
know? Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. There was this one time, um, again at the apartment, and there was this old lady across the street, and she lived by herself. And I saw her outside, and she had like this. It was like this super pretty apple tree that I've actually noticed before,
Yeah.
and like I just always thought in the fall it was really pretty, and then like they were full size apples, like and it was just in the middle of her yard, like on Exchange Street, like
Yeah.
very random place for a nice apple tree
Yeah.
to be. But and she's over there, and I look, and she's like up on the step stool, and she's like reaching, she can't reach them. And I'm just like, that's when like the anxiety thing you were talking about kicked in. I was like, oh
Yeah.
my God, like I want to ask if she wants help, but like, what if she's like, no, like get off my property, or like, what if she's like
Yeah.
weird stuff like that?
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just thought of my dad, honestly. And like my dad would have just been like, go help. So I was like, okay. So I went over there and I was like, do you want some help? And she's like, oh my gosh, actually, yes, you're nice and tall. I'm like, I'm not that tall, but like tall enough. So I got up on the step stool and helped her pick apples. And like, I just thought it was the sweetest thing because you know what? She did give me something in return. Do you want to know what it was?
Oh.
It was one of her apples.
Okay, I was gonna say that
She-
seems like the most like explanation. I thought you were about to say something else, and I was like, if she gave you anything other than an apple,
No.
I'd be very concerned.
No, but and the funniest thing is I'm not the biggest fan of apples, but I did eat it because I was standing around over her. So she's like, come on, real quick. I'm like, okay, like sure. She goes over the sink and scrubs the apple for me, and
Oh,
hands it to me. It was actually a really good apple. I'm gonna be honest, and I'm not the biggest fan of them either.
damn.
But and I just thought that was she was sweet, and she told me like I go back and visit sometime because like she gets lonely like living by herself and stuff. And I went back and she wasn't there anymore. So I don't know if she went to a nursing home or
That's so sad.
maybe moved somewhere else. I'm not sure, but
But speaking of that, what I was actually about to say when like I interrupted you
Yeah,
was
yeah.
sometimes I feel like I get anxiety doing things for old people because I don't want to make them
Feel old.
Old.
Yes.
I don't want to make them feel
I don't want them to
bad
feel
and-
incapable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like at least like me, like I'm a very like independent person. Like I don't I don't like when people come over and help me. Like I
Right.
want to be able to do it on my own, and if I need help, I'm gonna ask for help.
I know.
You know?
I know, but sometimes
And
like what if they don't have
sometimes-
someone to ask?
Exactly.
You know?
So like sometimes when it comes to old people, like exactly like that situation, like I debate because it's like something that like yes, they're capable of doing, but it would be a lot easier if I helped them.
Exactly.
And it's different if it's like my grandparents, obviously,
Oh, but
like,
yeah.
without a doubt.
Right.
But like if I like
If you don't
see,
know
like, an
them,
older person,
yeah.
like I don't want to make them like, oh my god, for example, the other day when we were at wing night and we were sitting down
Yes.
and that
Yeah.
was
Wait, we got
okay, wait, backtrack.
Okay,
This is actually funny.
so on Monday night, there's this place called Lakeview, and it's a restaurant, and me and Haley were sitting there waiting for our table to sit down, and we saw this old couple walking by a few times, and she
Yeah.
had definitely had a few too
She had a
many
few
dranks.
glasses of wine.
She was
and
feeling
shebang.
herself, yeah. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden, we're just in the middle of a conversation talking like this, and then we look over, and she's just right there in our face. She's
Glass
just
in hand,
glass
right
in
here.
and she's like, so do a lot of college kids come here? We're just like,
We're like,
we're like, I mean, we drove an hour. We were kind of like, I don't really know, like probably
like I want to say yeah, but like
we
don't
didn't
come-
actually
yeah,
know.
we don't come here like religiously,
Right,
so it's
exactly.
like,
Speaking of religiously, the insane amount of crosses up there was
dude,
a little
that's
scary.
so weird.
And we accidentally missed our turn, so we took like a half-hour detour
Yeah.
up around Fort Kent to get there.
Saw 3 moose.
Literally crossed the border of Canada, not actually, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 moose, a snowshoe hare, and like 4 crosses lit up like very brightly in the
For
sky.
some strange
Very
reason.
pretty moon and stars though.
Oh yeah, it was
You know,
beautiful that
speaking
night.
of stars and moon, that's like
Wait, hold on. We need to finish this old woman.
Oh yeah, okay.
So like she comes up in our face, and what's so funny is that right before she came up, we literally said, or you said to me like, should we offer our seats up
Yeah,
to them?
no,
And we
literally.
were like, okay, yeah, let's wait for like the right time because they're talking.
Right, they
or
were in the
whatever.
middle of a conversation. We
So-
looked at each other. We're like, we should offer them our seats.
Yeah.
Like they were, but this is kind of what we're talking about. Like, if somebody's older, do you do it or not? Because
Yeah,
when we
because
did offer, after she talked to us, she's like, "Oh, sweetheart, I'm not that old." And I'm like,
yeah, and it's like I felt
didn't-
bad. Like
yeah.
I don't mean to be cute.
Right.
Like, it's just like the respectful thing to do,
Yes.
and it's so hard because some old people are really entitled and they think that we should.
Right.
So like,
and then some people are like,
and then some people are like,
yeah.
no, like I can do it on my own. Don't
exactly.
insult me.
It wasn't
So it's
like that though. She was sweet about it. She was
No,
just like, "Oh
she
no,
was-
honey." It's like, I'm
Bruh,
not that
she was
old.
Drunk.
No,
she did
honestly,
not care.
she could probably come hang with us sometime, and she'd fit right in. Honestly,
we were walking to our table. I saw her. She got so excited when she saw we were going to sit by
yeah, 'cause
them. and
we
she-
walked by their table. We were gonna be sitting like across from them, and
Yeah.
she was like,
And she was like, hey. And we were like, hi.
it was so
That was
cute.
so funny.
Yeah, that was good. Wait, what was I? Oh yeah, the stars and the moon. So like that
Oh,
makes me
yeah.
think about like the sky and like just like I remember when we were riding back after eating last Monday night, whatever.
Yeah.
And we were all pointing out like how pretty the moon was and the stars, and I don't know, I just think about like how much of an appreciation I have for like the sky and nature. Like we were talking about today, like the picture on my phone
Oh my
like
God,
on the
yeah,
interstate with
yeah.
the ice on the trees and the
Yeah.
sun shining through the clouds, and like I just think like nature is like so beautiful. And I heard this one thing one time, and I think it's kind of crazy if you actually sit and think about it. And I heard that nature has never created anything with a perfectly straight line. Only humans have done that. And like if you actually think about it, nothing in nature has a perfectly straight line.
That's so true.
Mountains have edges, trees have branches, rocks are bumpy, grass isn't even straight. It has curves and ridges and like
Yeah.
parts, leaves have parts in them.
Yeah.
Everything. The only, you think of a road straight, but that's because we made it. My phone has a straight edge, but that's because humans made it.
Yeah.
Everything in this world was like made to be not perfect, and we have to make things perfect. It's literally the human language.
Okay, wait, hold on. That kind of makes me think about this one quote that like I have been seeing a lot lately where it's like life is meaningless and you can take that in whatever sense you want. Does that make sense? Like people are like, "Oh, life is meaningless, like life means nothing." But you could look at that as like, "Oh, there's nothing to do with life," or like you make meaning in life. So it's
Right.
like the same thing.
Life
Like
itself is
like
meaningless, but you
nature,
create it. Yeah.
like I don't know. I feel like that like kind
Yeah.
of makes sense. Like when you think about nature, because it's like nature is just there doing its thing.
Yeah.
It didn't ask to be there, but like neither did we.
Yeah.
And it has its own meaning with like
Mm-hmm.
it's just so strange. I think that we are very, very, very strangely connected to nature, and people don't realize it.
Yeah.
Like, have you
No,
seen those?
100%.
Have you seen those pictures of like where it's like, oh, like a nebula and like your
Eye,
and
or like the leaves and the
your
veins. Yes.
and
Yes.
like stuff like that. Like that's crazy
know.
to me. Like,
I know.
what is it? Like stars colliding and
Mhm.
cells pulling
Yep.
apart from each
Yep.
other. Like
All of that
that
stuff.
shit is crazy to me.
No,
Because it's like
100%.
it makes sense when you think about it too. And like no wonder why some people like that live in certain areas are so miserable and like okay, for example, like you have like you think about like people that have like depression and they just constantly are in their same exact environment and like they just like usually are like staying inside, not really going out, not like, dark room, whatever, like that type of thing. And it's like I feel like change of environment has such a big impact on people and they don't realize it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
you can be totally miserable in your space, but if you change your space, it's gonna like your body's forced to
Right.
adapt.
I mean, it's as simple as like I'm sitting bored at home on my couch, so I go for a drive and I get to see new stuff around me, and it
Yeah.
literally brightens my mood
Yeah.
just because I'm literally looking at something other than my wall or
Exactly.
TV. Like I just need to get out of that room, and then all of a sudden I'm like, that's the sun shining down. Now
Yeah.
I'm taking in like that vitamin D or whatever it is.
Right.
You know what
No,
I mean?
yeah. No, it makes
Like-
sense. But like I've also seen TikToks lately where it's like I didn't realize how much my environment affected me until I got out of it. And it's like how certain college kids like grew up in these areas. So like for example, me, like I grew up like near the city, everything's super close to each other, like super populated, super expensive, just like, like quite literally the opposite of here.
Right.
And I came here and it's like my whole perspective on how I look at the world now is like different.
Yeah.
So when I go home and I see things and I experience things, I like compare it to here and it's like I don't feel the same feelings I do here than I do in Maine.
Right.
And it's so strange to me because I like that's like one of the things I think that I am happy about, like being in like a different state, especially here because like it's such a different,
Very different
very, very, very different. Like
from you.
if
Yeah.
I even like explained half of the things, like half of the concepts that you guys have here to anyone back home, they'd look at me like I'm fucking crazy. You know what I mean?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, how it's just normal to have like a camp,
Oh yeah.
or it's just normal to own a boat and go out on the weekends. Like,
Right,
I
like
mean,
I
like
do.
I could still do
Yeah.
that, but like you'd have to like plan for that. But like there are people that like you can literally wake up at camp, go on the boat and just go out for the day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we don't get that experience unless you're super fucking rich.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like you plan it. So it's like explaining those concepts. Like, remember when I went to your house and I told my mom, I was like, yeah, we're gonna go on the four-wheeler, go fiddleheading, blah 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 blah. She was like, what the fuck are you saying?
She's like, what
She
country
was like,
shit are you
where
talking
are
about?
you and what is a fiddlehead and what is it doing to you? What kind of drug is it? And I was like,
What?
and I was like, Mom.
Fiddlehead's a fern, male.
But like that's what I mean. Like I'll say that to like my friends or my parents or my family, and they're like, literally,
Yeah.
who are you?
And I grew up doing
You know
that.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's so strange to me. That's why I want people like from here to come visit where I'm
No,
from.
I want to. I want to like see
Because
what it's like.
it's such a different
And
dynamic.
it's definitely different too. Like if you come here for a day or I
Yeah.
go there for a day. But like if I come with you and like visit for like a week and I actually like immerse myself in the
Yeah.
environment, like how you've obviously been able to do it a lot more here. You've been here
Yeah.
for months
Yeah.
and months and months. But like even just more like a week or two, like whatever,
Yeah.
just getting to kind of feel like you're almost living it for a minute
Yeah.
and kind of get a feel of what it's like.
Yeah. I guess
And
like compared to like if I were to like switch the roles, so like if I was to say like coming from Maine going to Long Island, something that like you guys wouldn't be able to experience is like I can literally walk to my best friend's house. It's a half a mile away.
mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And my friends in school all live within a 10-mile radius. Everyone in the district.
My closest friend lives within 10 miles.
Exactly.
My high
Like,
school isn't even within 10
my
miles.
whole high school population is within a like 10 to 20-mile radius.
Right. And
of the town.
how big was your population in your high school?
About 1,300.
Okay, so like how many did you graduate with?
340.
See, I graduated with 13.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Like you probably didn't even know everybody in your class. Every
uh,
single person. Can you tell me you knew every single person in your class?
I can say that I've probably like.
Did you know them though?
No. If
No.
you showed me a picture of every single person in my class,
You
I
could say
could
their
say
name?
who their name was. And I could probably say I've had a conversation with just about
Most of them.
like maybe 3/4, maybe
Yeah.
2/3
Yeah.
of my class. But if you were to ask me if I've like literally just like known who they were as a person,
Yeah.
Like,
I could tell you half of my class's middle names.
oh my god,
That was one of our
that's like that just like blows my mind.
Yeah, I had somebody who shared my last name and my first name, funny enough, too. Not this like I had a guy who shared my last name and a girl who shared my first name. And there were 13 of us. What are the odds that still happens?
That's still strange, but holy fuck. Like that's what I mean. Like, and my school was technically considered a small school.
Yeah.
Like
That's
there was
crazy.
there was a school that is literally right down the road from my house, but it's like a private school. Their graduating classes consist of 1,000 kids. Their graduating
That's
classes.
crazy.
The school itself is fucking huge, but like there are literally 5,000 kids attending the school at one time.
My school wouldn't even be able to fit the graduating class, let alone everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Not even enough room in it.
Like it's so strange. And like
how many stories is it? Like mine's one.
Probably 3.
Yeah, that's crazy. I
Yeah.
couldn't imagine having to go up or down stairs for school.
Really?
Yeah.
My elementary school had 2 stories. We have 4 elementary schools.
They had to combine my middle and high school just to keep the building.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Dude.
I know.
That's so wild. No.
I know.
My elementary schools, so we had we've always had 4 elementary schools, but they all used to be K through 5, and then we had so many kids that we had to split it up to 2 of them were K through 2 and the other 2 were 3 through 5. And then middle
Yeah.
school was 6 to 8 and then high school was us.
Yeah.
Like that's
so
like
wild. That's
but like
wild.
that's not even like we don't even have a big school. But like for example, like I could literally just drive down the street and like if I drove down the highway by my house, I would pass 25 food chains. 5 miles down the street.
My
If I
closest
went
food chain to my
5
house is
miles.
45 minutes.
If I went 5 miles down my street, I'd pass 25 food chains.
That's crazy.
Straight up. 10-minute drive to school.
And you know what that closest one is? McDonald's and Pizza Hut.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it. There's nothing else until you get to Presque Isle or Bangor. But even now, there's not really chains here in Presque Isle except like McDonald's or Arby's, stuff like that.
And we also have a lot of like family restaurants.
Yeah.
Like a lot. Like if you went downtown, so like every like town by me pretty much has a downtown. So we have like a downport, but that's because we have the ferry, so the ferry comes in the harbor. But like if you went downport, you would find like so many like family owned shops.
Okay, so what's
also food chains.
What's a hidden gem there?
A hidden gem.
Yep. If you had to say anything, like what would be a hidden gem that you could point out?
Downport, I think my favorite hidden gem is definitely this restaurant called The Pie. And it's this a small Italian
I
restaurant.
honestly think you've told me about this before. That name sounds familiar.
I
Yeah.
probably have. It's this small Italian restaurant called The Pie, and they have my favorite fucking Italian food ever. Like, they have the best Italian food. It's all just like not like homemade, but like, you know, most of it is. And like, you can customize your own pizzas, and they just, you know, wood
Yeah.
oven fry it and
Yeah.
pull it out,
Yeah.
bring it to you, and it's so good. Probably also,
It doesn't even have to be a restaurant. Like just what's something like cool that you could think of that you could be like, if you're gonna travel here, go there. Or if you live here,
okay,
go
it
there.
depends because if we're talking about like the summer, 100% the beach.
Yep.
My favorite beach, that would be like the first place that I would bring someone visiting me to that beach.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're talking like a place to go, if we're talking bars, there's this little bar that I've been going to since I was 8 years old because my parents would bring me in there because we like it's family owned, like we know the owners. This little bar downport called Tara's. And it's so fucking cute. You can literally go in and get a beer and a burger for $5.
That's crazy.
It's just I love it. It's like it's the cutest little hidden gem bar.
Yeah.
And every Friday night they have like games set up.
That's awesome.
And all the college kids go, and it's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
So if we're talking like bars, there, 100%. Beach, my favorite beach, Robert Moses. Like, which by the way, I can drive 5 minutes to a beach.
Of course you can.
I can drive 45 minutes to the beach on the south end.
Mm-hmm.
I can drive from the north end of my island to the south in 45 minutes.
Yeah. Okay, so speaking of hidden gems, and I think this is funny because we've been talking about the dynamic of where you live and where I live.
Yeah.
My hidden gem would be this place. It's called Shimpon Falls. Okay. And you drive out towards Baxter State Park. You just drive out into the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you didn't know how to get there, you wouldn't find it. Like you'd have to ask directions from somebody that lives there. And you drive out there and it's just this little, it turns into like a little dirt road. And you can drive out of the little ways and then it's a little bit of a hike, like 5-10 minutes. So like it's very doable. Like I would recommend it to people and I would try and do my best to direct them there.
Yeah.
And it is a small little waterfall. And in the summer or in the spring, that's where I went fly fishing. It's got like a nice little pool. It's just super like scenic down there.
Yeah.
Secluded. Very like you can hear the waterfall. It's a cool breeze coming off of it. And in the winter, the whole thing freezes. So
really?
all of the
you know what's funny? I think I've
waterfall,
seen a picture of it.
You probably have.
I think I've seen a picture of it.
I almost feel like I've shown you a picture of it.
Probably.
But
I've also like so since I've been here, I've come to the conclusion that I pretty much want to spend the rest of my life in Maine. Like I want to settle here and I want to get a job here and like
it's beautiful here.
This is where like I do want to travel, but like when it comes to like actually settling down and like finding a place to live, like I want to spend my time here.
Yeah.
I would be totally content living the rest of my life here. And so over the summer, I made a Maine bucket list.
Okay.
Of things that
all right,
I want to do. Okay, I'll read it.
What's on the list?
Hold on. I've done some of them already. Just some of them. So let's see. So first was open water fishing, which I have done.
Yep.
But I want to go out on like I've done it on like shorefront. I want to go
out on a boat.
Mm-hmm. So I want to do that. I want to have a lake day and go jet skiing.
Okay.
I want to go hiking and see a waterfall.
Okay,
I've never seen a waterfall in real life.
Okay, well, I've got the perfect place for you then.
That's what made me think.
We'll go this winter while it's frozen because it's so beautiful. It's like a turquoise blue icicles dripping off, and then we'll go in the summer.
Literally seeing a waterfall, like I put it on here because I've always wanted to see one, and I didn't know that they had them here.
Yeah, it's not like anything huge, but
I know I don't even need it to be huge. I just want.
It's probably 20 times my height.
Yeah,
probably.
So I have that.
Okay.
I want to float a river.
Okay, we'll do that this summer too. I literally went this past summer.
I know, that's what I mean. Like everyone goes like during the summer, and like everyone has like one day like where like
you bring your inner tubes, you put them in up top, and you just float.
And a bunch of people, you just connect yourself to a bunch of people.
Yes, we tie ourselves up with ropes. It's like a little
chain.
Yeah,
I want to do that so badly.
Okay.
I do want to go hunting, but I know I have to get a license, or I could just go with. like just like
You can come
see
like
it.
tag along,
Yeah, I
or
can
you
just,
can just like get a license, and as long as you're with somebody
I was
who,
going to get a license. I was
yeah,
going
you
to,
could.
but
There's literally a class here on campus that teaches you hunter safety, and you
so
can do it
yeah,
for free. Yeah.
I've always wanted to go hunting and just like experience it. Cause like we have hunting by me, but it's obviously nothing like you
Yeah.
guys have here. Like the only thing that we can really get by us is we have a lot of doe. Like an
Deer?
overpopulation. Yeah.
Like doe?
Yeah.
You shoot doe?
Yeah. Overpopulation. So a lot of that.
Like
So
consistently?
yeah.
So we need a special permit
And
to
you
shoot a
can
doe.
see we don't. We can shoot as many as we have tags for.
That's crazy.
So like my friend's
You have to
dad,
pay for a doe ticket here.
dude. No, my friend's dad can shoot like 3 at a time.
Yeah, but hear me out. That's the difference in hunting, though. Because you know how fun and how much you're actually immersing yourself. You actually have to hunt for the animal, and they don't
Yeah.
just run in front of you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's
Like it's so
different.
small by me that like they can just easily do that. But like
Right.
you can go out here and see nothing.
Oh yeah.
So it's
Okay,
like,
wait. So what's up? What else is on your list? Anyway.
so I know that we did go four-wheeling, but it was raining and we didn't get to go fiddleheading. So I put fiddleheading and four-wheeling.
See, now you know about fiddleheading. Now you want to go.
on there. And I really want to go. I put snowmobiling and ice fishing.
Oh, I can also take you to do that.
I've been ice fishing.
Yeah,
I got my
have you
first
been on the
fish.
Yeah, yep. The picture. I
Got
saw
my
the
first
picture.
fish, but I still haven't been snowmobiling.
Okay.
I was going to go on the snowmobile, but we were all a little too inebriated for it at the time.
Yeah.
So I am still wanting to go snowmobiling. I want to go camping, and I've like never really seen any camping sites here, but I imagine it's not like that, difficult to find.
No, and there's some you can do them for free too. You just bring a tent.
Yeah. See a moose. Saw my first 3 moose in one weekend.
Yeah.
Which is fucking crazy.
Your first 4, because we saw 3, but you saw 1 on a separate time.
So like that was crazy.
Check that off the list.
I do. I haven't
4 times.
And you know what's so weird is like I've been up here for like a year and a half now.
Never saw one.
Just about, and never saw one.
And then you see 4.
And I saw 4 in places that I've been before.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I didn't see it like the first one I wasn't there. But like it was only a small one. It had no antlers. It was just kind of like yeah. But yeah, I saw my first moose and I'm very, very, very impressed. I want to go to Acadia National Park.
Yep. We'll have to go
which is that gonna be like planned, like a drive.
Yeah, we'll have to go to the Thunderhole, which is where the water's eroded and it's made it into a legitimate cave almost, and the water like crashes into it. And it sounds like thunder.
Really?
And there's a nice beach there.
I've seen TikToks.
Hiking. That's where I went rock climbing this summer.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Damn.
I have to show you pictures.
And then apple picking, which like is like whatever, like not that interesting, but I put it on there just because.
There's one like 20 minutes from here.
I want to go like apple picking, blueberry picking, because like you
come to my grandparents' farm to pick blueberries.
You guys like are like you have like farms all over.
Yeah, my
like,
grandparents own one. You can literally come pick blueberries and eat till your heart's content.
And then Bold Coast Preserve in color.
Do you know what that is?
No.
I did not. Somebody said put that on your list.
Yeah, someone told me that, and I don't know what it is, but
you were just hoping I would be able to.
I was really hoping you would know what that was, and I wasn't saying that. Okay, awkward silence. Anyways, the botanical gardens, the ones
I've actually personally never been either.
I've like seen like so many people go like just this past winter.
Lib went, my roommate went.
Yeah. I saw so many people going and posting videos.
I'd like to go.
And it looks really, really pretty.
Just never made it down there.
I want to go to Portland, and I want to go to the LL Bean in Freeport.
The big boot.
Yeah. And I kind of want to just go to Old Portland and just kind of walk around, because like I know it's not like super interesting and it's like kind of scary. There's lots of
on your bucket list,
but I think it's just like Portland's like one of the most popular places here, and I feel like a day in Portland, like it's not like it's not too crazy, but I want to find like starfish and sand dollars at your guys' beaches, which I've only been to like one of your guys' beaches.
I usually only find sand glass. I've seen starfish. I've even seen jellyfish.
Ugh.
Yeah, but I've never actually found a sand dollar. I know a couple people that have, but I haven't. They're a little harder to find for sure.
Yeah. That's about it.
Yeah.
But that is my list of things that I want to do in Maine before. I need to make a thing. I need to accomplish all that before I'm 25.
Yep. That's all
Which is very
they're all very
doable.
doable things, yeah. And it's
Very
all within the state of Maine. So it's not like you have
Exactly.
to travel anywhere too crazy. Yeah, but there.
So that's my list, and I think that I could be able to get like probably half of that done just by like the end of summer.
Yeah.
Because I'm
100%.
hoping to stay up here during the summer.
Yeah, 100% you can get it done. I'll be here too. Yeah.
You know, I
Well,
think it's so weird.
what?
You guys, you guys are fucking okay. State of Maine is huge. The
Yeah.
state of Maine is like the size of upstate. New
For
York.
nobody even knowing it exists. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
pretty big.
exactly. And I didn't know that until I came up here.
Yeah.
And I don't, I can't comprehend in my brain why every single person's area code is 207.
Yeah, I know. Everyone thinks that's so crazy. Our whole
That's
state is 207.
so weird to me.
That's because we might have a big state, but all of our population, basically, all of our population is in Portland or a little bit in like Augusta. Aside from that, we're scattered everywhere. Like we don't have any like we have Bangor or we have Presque Isle or we have like other like smaller cities like that, but none of them are like populated enough for us to anywhere to have their own.
That's
The only one that would make sense is if Portland, Augusta, and then everywhere else. But if they're gonna do that, you can't separate it like that. So we just all have 207.
I'm looking up right now what the population of Maine is.
I'm curious as well.
That's not a lot.
1.372 million. All right, now I'll look
That was
up
as of
New York.
2021.
Do you want me to do Long Island or all of New York?
Do just Long Island, because I'm curious.
All right, so the population of Long Island. If you live on says 7.64 million.
Wait, what? Hold on.
Yeah. However, with an estimated population of 7.64 million people, Long Island makes up over 1/3 of New York's population for the state. That's like 6 times Maine.
And think about the size difference.
Now hear me out why we all have 207 for our zip code.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, that actually is so crazy.
Hey, that's so weird to think about. We have almost 6 times, or just about 6 times the population in like a tenth of
Less. Probably less.
of the fucking land.
I wonder how big okay, so let's do it like this. How big is Long Island, New York?
Oh my.
It's 1,401 square miles. Okay, now you look up how big is Maine?
Oh.
Or the state of Maine, yeah.
Oopsie.
Okay, so Long Island is 1,401 square miles, and Maine is 35,000 square miles.
So it's like 1/35
Yeah.
of that size. And it has like 6.5 times the amount of population.
Yes.
That's
how spread out we are.
That fucks with
I'm
my
telling
brain
you, yeah.
so bad.
And like the other thing that's crazy is you need to think about like the big Maine woods or the woods even just out behind my house. Look at how much land is not being lived on.
Yeah.
We have so many miles of just woods.
That's what I mean.
And that's why the square mileage is obviously going to be so much bigger with a less population because we aren't that crowded. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I
know.
that just blows my mind completely because it's like I'm not from a big place, but somehow I have like so much more.
I know.
And I don't get it.
I know. I don't either.
But that's why I feel like that's kind of why I like Maine because it's like
It's
nothing compared to what I've grown up with. Like
I know.
from where I'm from, like you could never go to the same place and like meet someone that you know unless you're in like your obviously like your area. But
Right.
like if you like
I go
went
out town and
out-
chances are I will see somebody I know.
Yeah, like if I went out to like
I probably know half the
know.
people in my town.
I don't even know everyone on my street.
Right.
I don't even know everyone on
I could tell you the
on my
names of
half
every
the street.
I could tell you the names of everybody that live on my road and then also the 2 roads that connect to it. And that's like they're a mile long each. 2 miles maybe.
My neighborhood consists of probably around 300 houses, and I think I know 12 people within those houses.
I probably have 30 houses on my entire square of road that my house is on.
Oh my god.
And they're all spaced out. Like you can't look out your window and see another house. I see
But
I see
love
trees.
that.
You like seeing a
I
house?
love that. No.
Oh, you like that you
No,
don't.
I like that you don't.
Yeah, like you look out my window,
I
you're gonna see the
hate-
stars with no light pollution. You're gonna see a field that's so long. You could see deer standing down, like eating off like my grandparents' vegetables.
Yeah. Oh my god. This
All
is why I'm
trees.
gonna leave. This is why I'm gonna live here. Because I just I don't know what it is. You know what's funny is I was supposed to go to Florida. Which
Yeah, you were just
Florida-
telling me about that.
Florida's exactly like Long Island.
Yep.
Exactly. Like, you remember when we were driving through Myrtle Beach?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Florida's very similar to that.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're driving down the highway and it's just like people and things.
I've been there.
and
I know.
like,
I've been there a few
whatever.
times. It's just it wouldn't have been as much of a change. You wouldn't have been able to experience somewhere like
when
this.
I go to Florida, the only thing that's different for me is the heat.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, everything looks the same, everything feels the same, everyone drives the same. it's so it's so like nothing is like new to me there. And like what's so funny to me is that growing up, I've had to travel for softball.
Right.
So I'd go like in like all my neighboring states. So like I'd drive out to Connecticut, Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, like probably like 5 or 6 states surrounding me. And like every single place I went to looked the same as Long Island.
Right.
So like I just assumed that like
Everywhere it was like that.
Everything was really like that. And
Yeah.
like
Must have had your mind blown when you came here then.
it was just a culture shock.
Not even
like,
just in Maine. You're up in northern Maine.
Yeah.
Okay. And like the people, like if when you came to my house or like other people that you know from here, like when you go to their houses and you go to their small towns, that's when you really see like what like the really secluded parts of
That's
Maine
why
are like.
I really wanted to like come visit you. And like I went and I visited like M too. And I stayed at her house and it's the same thing. And it's just like, oh,
I know.
it's crazy to me.
All right. Well, I think it's about time we wrap it up.
Yeah. My mind's a little blown, so I gotta digest this.
We gotta just take it all in.
It's a lot of brain food. I did not know. Like looking
I didn't know that either.
Those numbers
No,
really just shocks
100%.
the fuck out of me.
I had no idea either.
Oh my god.
But yeah, well, thank you for listening. And thanks for the useful conversation.
Very filled episode.
Fruitful conversation.
Yeah, really.
Yep. So I mean, you know, it's anything goes.
Anything goes.
So here we are. All right. Till next time.